Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the Four Bros Radio Show. Right now, there's two of us here. Oh, and here comes the third one. And Big B's here. We were going to go on talking until he came on, but there he is. So, how's it going tonight, man?
Going good, guys. Just getting to my car. What's up?
We haven't really talked about anything yet. We kind of just went live. So, haven't got anything yet. We're going to check in with Mess Around, see how he's doing tonight. I think this is his third show tonight on Coast to Coast.
Yeah, you guys are probably getting tired of seeing my mug at this point. I did a nightcap, then we did the red tape, and now here we are, Four Bros. Kind of went nostalgic there. We had the old school intro there. I love it.
Yeah. I got to say, a Big B will probably be back in a minute. He usually has some technical issues while he's getting to where he's going. But first thing I want to do is, man, I'll tell you, I went back and reviewed the video from Saturday with the Oregon Cougars football team. And I got to give you props, brother. You did a great job, man.
Thank you.
Definitely some angles in there that no other networks can offer. We definitely got some behind-the-scenes angles and definitely the drills and all that. And so definitely good job, like hell of a job, man. You kept that going, so thanks
Thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. A couple times in there, I thought I was going to get ran over when they did the fumble drill. They got close to getting me a couple times. I jumped back, but
the funny thing is you watch that happen in the NFL all the time.
Yeah,
the camera guys on the sidelines are jumping out of the way, or they're dropping the camera and getting the hell out of the way.
So Mess Around, which one was the cute one?
I'm going to be a professional.
Dropping the camera and getting the hell out.
I'm going to be a professional, not answer that.
I'm just messing with you, bud. I'm just messing with you.
No, but yeah, don't forget to find us on Amazon Fire TV. Now you have to have the Fire Stick to find us, but find us on the Fire Stick, and that'll be great. We announced that to the Oregon Cougars on Saturday. They were pretty excited about that we're going to be nationally broadcast there. So that should be a good time. It should be great. Stay tuned for that. We'll have some more stuff coming up. Big B, what's been going on this week for you, man?
Man, I tell you, work was very stressful this week. To vent a little bit, got to my boiling point, and one little firecracker just went out. Not in a bad way. I kind of just went off my own and just took care of what I needed to take care of. But then I got back to it. So, but outside of that, watching some of the games, watching the playoff games. Just, trying to do my thing outside of work, and hopefully me and Tim are coming up with a show that hopefully we can premiere soon.
By the way, if you all hear the music and you think one of us is playing music, it's because I am. There's some background music on StreamYard, so I'm trying to add some elements.
I thought it was my phone. That's why I held my phone.
I did too. I was like looking at my radio, and but that's kind of cool. I mean, sometimes we need that, just a little quiet music, just elevator music. But outside of that, you guys did a great job. I know you guys were talking the Oregon Cougar thing. That was great to get out there, watch some drills being ran. Kind of took me back to the couple years I played football, watching those drills. So, you guys did a good job, and I can't wait to see what unfolds with them and where it leads us.
Yeah, I think it'll be great too. there's that. Let's I had something prepared for tonight. Let's go to that one. Let's get your guys' takes on that real quick. How about the fact that all of the favorites in the wild card round for baseball, they all lost?
What? I thought the Mets were the best team around.
I know.
That's a shocker.
I know.
You're supposed
So,
to
yeah, we're gonna go into this real quick. Who is the early NFL MVP favorite in your guys' opinion?
be early NFL MVP. Okay, Brandon's probably going to love this. He may agree or disagree, but I'm going to say Jefferson. The start that guy's got off to, the things he's done, he's put up numbers, and I think right now I can go with Jefferson from the Vikings.
If it wasn't for those couple games where they couldn't find him with the searchlight, I Jefferson's probably got a slight margin, but right now I think honestly there's not a clear-cut MVP. I think everybody's just playing conservative right now. There's nobody that really, I mean, outside of the big comeback that Tua did, I mean, there's not a game or, yeah, Jefferson stuck out a few games, but right now I can't put my finger on just one person. I don't think there's an early favorite right now.
Well, y'all are probably not going to like my pick because it's going to be the cliche pick and the one that everyone else is saying, but Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I was going to go there, but I figured everybody else was that, so I wanted to be different.
And this is my reasoning why. Coming into this week, he'd already thrown for over 1,200 yards in the first 4 weeks of the season. This week, he threw for 450, which, by the way, that week, having 1,200, he already had over 100-yard lead over anyone else, and no one else in the league this week he came close to him. So he's going to widen his margin even more. So, and come on, without Allen, the Bills wouldn't be a contender. They really wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, if you throw that in there, then you got to throw in Jalen Hurts because if he's not doing what he's doing, they're not 5-0. I mean,
it's true. It's true.
But I mean, just thinking about it though, to me, when you asked that, nobody jumped out at me as a clear-cut favorite right now. I mean,
no, I think you could throw a couple of guys in there. No answer is going to be wrong, except Derek Carr. That would be wrong.
Well, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Dave, where did you find that clip that you posted in our chat? Where did you find that? That said that the Viking player said that Fields got robbed.
Oh, it was on one of the Bears sites, but it was a quote from him.
But by the player, okay, I gotta look that up. I want to see who said it.
Dantzler said that he totally flopped on that call, and that he baited the referee into making that call.
Wow.
So speaking of bad calls, I don't know how much of the game you watched, Big B, but
Vikings
tonight's game.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't watch too much, but I thought you were going somewhere else. But okay.
No, but I will tell you what, it's a true story. What I posted, Chris Jones is probably the first player in NFL history to be called for roughing the passer when he's got the ball in his arms.
I got to go find that play to find out what you're talking about.
So you can go find it and watch it, but I'll basically give you the breakdown. Derek Carr is standing straight up. Okay. Jones comes in, wraps him like you would. Okay. Strips the ball out, has the ball here.
Yeah.
Then falls to the ground with Carr falling down too. Braces himself with his arm so he doesn't fall on top of Carr.
Yeah.
And then taps him as he's falling to the ground, and they called roughing the passer.
That's just like the Tampa Bay game where the guy tackled Brady and they called him for roughing the passer.
Brady Jarrett.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys remember? Somebody brought this up on a sports show I was watching or listening to on the way to work, I think it was. Do you guys remember that bit that Kevin Hart did on Fox Sports Sunday one day on how to tackle quarterbacks or something, or NFL Network? You guys remember that little bit he did? Where he's like, this is how you got to tackle a quarterback. You got to bring out a bed. You got to lay him down. You got to put the sheets over. You got to read him a bedtime story. I mean, that's, because of what happened to Tua this past week, that's what they're going to go down to is any quarterback getting thrown to the ground for a tackle, you're going to see them call that every time now.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny, though, is then you had Raider fans later in the game when Kansas City was third and one, mess around? No, 4th and 1, because they kicked the field goal. And it was a field goal, it was 4th and 1. And on a field goal, there was a defensive holding call.
Yep.
That's the first time I've seen that in like 10 years. And you look at it and you're like, that was kind of ticky-tacked. I don't think that really fell. But those refs were like, we got to do something to make it up to them because that was an awful pass interference call.
Right.
Roughing the passer calls.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. And I hate fans saying that the refs made this to make up for that. I mean, but we know what happens. I mean,
sometimes it's so obvious.
There was a lot of tacky calls this weekend. I mean, even in the Bears-Vikings game, even the Giants-Packer game that I watched, I mean, there's a lot of ticky-tack calls that it's like, really, you called that, but yet you won't call a mugging in the end zone or something? I mean,
man, there was at least one clear play, maybe more than one, but one for sure, where Chris Jones is running around the end of the line. The lineman is clotheslining him as he's coming around, and there was no flag thrown. And he's over there like losing his mind running to the sidelines.
No.
Yeah. And next thing you know, since he's losing his mind, they call it an unsportsmanlike penalty or some shit. I wouldn't have been surprised if they did. They didn't, but I wouldn't have been surprised if they did.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but I don't want to get too much into the refs. So early picks for the I'll take this down. Early picks for who's going to win the next round of the NFL or MLB playoffs.
What are our matchups again?
We got the Yankees and Guardians, the Mariners and Astros, Braves and Phillies, Padres and who are the
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Man, I would like to see Guardians and Mariners. I really think the Guardians could put up a fight with the Yankees. I think the Yankees are they're strong, but I think if they have an off series, I mean, they can fall behind quick. The Astros, you can never count them out, cheating or not. They've been good for years, but I want to see Mariners or Guardians.
I'm with you. I want the Guardians too, and I think the Guardians can do it because you're going to have to see Bieber twice. And that dude is a lights-out pitcher. And if they can pick up 2 more wins from anyone else on that staff, they've got a good chance to win that series.
Well, the fact that they don't have Chapman either, with that big story coming out, that they told him to stay home. So.
And then the Mariners, I want the Mariners just because of feel-good stories. And the Astros have been there. They were there last year, and it'd be nice to see someone new. And in the NL side, I want the Padres just for Callan and the suffering that San Diego's been through all these years. And the Braves. I want the Braves to go too.
Yeah, I want anybody but the Dodgers.
You know what's funny about the Dodgers? Before the Mets and Padres series was over, the Dodgers fans were already complaining because they were saying, how do we win 110 games or whatever it was, and we might have to play a 101 win team in the second round of the series, the second round of the playoffs, when the team that finished in second place and 9 games behind us gets an 87 win team. Like, they were already complaining about the matchups before they even knew what team they were playing.
Right.
Well, wait a minute. I thought the higher seed got the lower wild card winner, or the
No, that's not the way it works in baseball. They already had the bracket done, but still, the Dodgers fans were already making excuses for reasons why their team might lose.
I can see questioning it, but I mean, but I thought the wild card, the lower seed winner gets to go against the Dodgers. So
yeah, in the NFL they have it set right, and Major League hasn't figured it out yet. So yeah.
But no, I'd like to see Braves Padres.
I know you're picking the Braves, J-Mac, but what are the rest of your picks for the for the next round.
Padres. I can't root for the Dodgers. There's no way. No part of me that can root for the Dodgers. On the American League side, I'm with you guys. I think the Mariners would make a nice story to make it. And then I'd like to see the Guardians. I really, really hope the Mariners can make it, but I don't think they have enough to make it past the Astros. I'll be honest about that. I don't think.
Now, the first round, the wild card round, all 3 games are played at the home of the higher seed.
Yep.
Okay. Well, how'd that work out for the Mets?
I know. If there's a certain Mets fan watching, man, I gotta say, I told you so. I said the Mets were going to be the Mets, and in the end of the season, they weren't. You know, the Mets are the first team. I saved this earlier just
yes,
to
I saw that.
Prove that's true. The Mets are the first 100-win team in baseball history to not make it to the division series in the playoffs.
That's crazy.
So it's the Mets being the Mets, man. That's what they do.
It is.
And I still think it's funny that the Pirates, who haven't played in the NL East since 1994, have more NL East division championships than the Mets do.
Yeah, that's great.
By the way,
I really would like to see the Braves repeat. I mean,
it would. The Mets could tie the Braves in division championships since 1990 if they win starting next year, every year until 2034. You know what's funny about that is there's no Braves players under contract during that amount of time, but they'll still be paying Bobby Bonilla in New York. I just want to point that out.
Ain't that something? That contract still. I don't get it.
Dude, his agent, he's got to be thanking his agent daily. Forget him
every July 1st.
I mean, and then you get the Mets fans that are like, "It's Bobby Bonilla Day." You realize this day was made to make fun of you. Like this is not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be a celebration.
That's why I don't understand. Like, why is he not like working for you? Why is he not like a batting coach? I mean, he was a pretty decent hitter back in his day. I mean.
Yeah.
You pay this guy to stay home. I mean,
you make him earn that stuff. Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't get it either. But Mets fans can make history or can make something of it, I guess.
Anything to draw a crowd. I mean.
And real quick, a couple other things to point out, switching back over to football, but a couple things I saved to point out. Do you know the Houston Texans are really the worst team in the league, probably, in my opinion? But since the start of 2020, they're now 4-0 against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I saw you posted that. That's crazy.
But they are 4-28-1 against the rest of the NFL.
And I'm rooting for the Texans.
Really, since 2020, they only have 8 victories,
8 wins, and half of those are half of those are against Jacksonville. But if you go back and look. Since I think I did the math. So since 2018, okay, the team with the second least wins is Jacksonville. Right? Yeah. Jacksonville has won 11 games since 2018,
and half of those probably game against the Colts.
And they've won 6 of those against the Colts. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Real quick, how many wins does Doug Peterson need to get the season to climb up the list?
1.
One more?
One more. Right now, he's currently tied for 5th all-time in Jacksonville history with Urban Meyer with 2 wins. Just kind of crazy. He'll be 5th all-time in team history in wins with 3.
He hasn't even got to half of a season yet.
I know. That's crazy.
That's so crazy.
Well, Mesron, you made a great point on Morning Tailgate about those Lions. I mean, how can we stop rooting for these guys? And every time we pick them to do something, they flop on their face. I mean, look what they did this weekend. I mean,
they didn't even score a single point. Like
the number 1 scoring offense, or top 2, I think, scoring offense, and they couldn't even score a point. I mean,
against a third string quarterback.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Speaking of third string quarterbacks, the Vikings might be facing one this coming Sunday. So yeah.
Wait, who do they play this Sunday? The Patriots?
No, we play Dolphins, and Bridgewater's under protocol.
Oh,
Tua should not be back, and and we know how we do against those quarterbacks you see once in a blue moon.
Yeah, you make them look like all-stars.
Yep. But we're going to the Super Bowl, said one fan.
You mean like the Lions? Didn't the Lions play the Patriots this weekend?
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah, they got shut out.
I mean, just like they did. I mean, Bailey Zappi.
Yeah.
Well, Zappy didn't
I don't think the
have a
Vikes will
great
get shut
game.
out. It wouldn't surprise me, but I don't think they get shut out. But it wouldn't shock me if the Dolphins end up winning.
Yeah, you never know in Minnesota.
No, you don't. And my family, everybody was posting, "Oh, the Vikings won a good game. Great to see them win." It's like, do you guys understand that they should have blown them out? They had a 21-3 lead, and they only scored 8 points after that, and the Bears kicked their ass. I mean, Vikings should have lost that game.
Well, I was telling a certain someone in that chat. He's like, yeah, we're going to blow them out, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, the Bears are second half team. We're going to come back. He's like, oh, no, you're not. This game's over. And then we came back, and I was like, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, can you feel that? Can you feel that, Steven? Can you feel that?
No, honestly,
the momentum shift? Can you feel it?
Let's be honest here. If the Bears player falls down at the end of the game,
Yep.
the Bears march down and win that game. I mark my words. That's what happens.
Well, if that touchdown didn't get called back, the Bears won that game.
Yeah.
Did Fields run for a good touchdown and got called back?
The 52-yard run that Fields had?
Yeah.
The bogus block in the back call?
Yeah.
I think that changes the game. They win the game because the defense is going to be energized, and I think they would have stopped Minnesota.
Yep. And that's the thing. You can't keep pulling out these close games and expect to be a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah, I mentioned that too. I was like, yeah, you guys would be good if you'd learn to finish off teams.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm going to say a name next. I'm going to speak about Green Bay for a minute. I mean, we played a good Giants team. I don't take anything away from the Giants. The Giants, they deserve to win that game. They really did. But I'm going to say a name that I know Mess Around hates one name for Green Bay more than anyone else. But
my ears.
But there might be a second player. There might be a second player that he hates almost as much because he's the biggest bear killer of all time.
Randall Cobb.
The combination of Rodgers and Cobb this weekend was back. I mean, Cobb had 7 catches for 99 yards.
Yeah.
That's the guy he looked for in a pinch. And, I don't know what it is, but when Cobb plays the Bears, it's like he's a whole different player.
Yeah.
4th and 10. All we got to do is stop Green Bay. Keep
and
it
10
running,
from
and Cobb gets behind for a touchdown and win the game. Oh.
4th and 10 from the 46 with 26 seconds left in the game. No one will ever forget that.
Nope.
Yep.
You see him snap the ball. You see Cobb go and put that hand up, and I know all the Bears fans were like, no!
Yep.
Oh, speaking of that, did you guys, Devontae Adams on that touchdown towards the end of the game there? Right when he got off the line, he put his hand up, and ball was right there for a touchdown. That was a beautiful pass from
I
Carter.
have to say that because of Adams, I beat you in both leagues this week, so thank you, Adams, for that.
You know what? I of course, Adams played for Green Bay for most of his career, but I actually lost a lot of respect for him after the game. When he's walking out of the tunnel and he just shoves the camera guy backwards for no reason. That was uncalled for.
Yeah.
Uncalled for. I'm sorry, you don't have to do things like that.
Not at all.
You don't. No.
That's why the sports is missing a guy like Pujols that we talked about on this show and another show. Pujols is class act all around.
Class act. Yes. I'll tell you a guy that I have a lot of respect for. A lot of people see him as kind of maybe kind of an uppity, maybe is the word to use. Kind of conceited. But he gained a lot of respect from me tonight. That was Travis Kelce.
Okay.
He had 4 touchdowns tonight. Yeah, four touchdowns.
Who played against him in fantasy? Do we know?
I did in one of the leagues, but I also had Taysom Hill in at tight end against him, so he had 4 touchdowns too. So we don't need to talk about that.
Taysom Hill had 4 touchdowns? I missed that.
Yeah, 3 rushing and
Wow.
1 passing. Yeah, as a tight end.
Nice. Nice.
That's why I have him in all 3 leagues. And someone offered me a trade. They offered me 2 running backs for Taysom Hill, and I told him to get the hell out of my inbox because
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not giving up Hill.
No,
Anyway,
I like those players that can score multi-ways. I mean, it just
I'm
helps.
surprised that they haven't listed his side in. That's kind of crazy.
yeah,
Because that's what he is. They
That's what they designate him as. Yeah. Anyway, after the game, Travis Kelce, they're talking to him, and she said something about, "Oh, it's your day, it's your birthday," and actually, he said, "Actually, it's my mom's birthday," and all 4 of those touchdowns were for her.
that's good.
You always got, you always can tell the guys that were raised the right way, and I'll say that.
Him and his
Definitely
brother
was
are
good.
both just great dudes. His brother Jason Kels for the Eagles.
Have you ever heard their podcast? By the way, if you haven't,
Uh-oh.
you should.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. There was one where Travis keeps apologizing over and over because Jason Kelsey's going off about the numbering system on their plays and just how, the G1 gap is the guard gap, but then the T2 gap is the tackle gap, but then it switches from 5 to 7 and then goes back to 9, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And how are you going to – and he's just like, I'm sorry, you guys have to listen to this. But-
Did you ever see that reality show that he had, Dating Kelsey?
Oh,
No?
Like years ago, yeah, it was Travis Kelsey had a reality show called Dating Kelsey.
A dating show, huh? Crazy.
yeah.
Uh,
Anything to make
It
money.
was on like MTV or some shit, but I didn't
Oh, I'm
watch
sure.
a whole lot of it.
By the way, did you guys see Terry Bradshaw this last week and his big announcement?
What was it?
Cancer announcement or
Yeah.
assault? Yeah. And not
That's
to make
sad.
light of it, I was actually, when I was watching one of the Fox before he announced that, it's like, God, he really looks rough, like he really aged and got bigger weight-wise, and then he announced that, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that does make sense. I mean,
Yeah. But hey, he's still out doing it. So
Yep. Yep.
I mean,
Props
his
to him.
stats were never that great as a quarterback. He got 1 Super Bowls to that defense, but besides the point, the dude's a great man. He's funny. I love watching him on Fox. And best of wishes.
Yep.
Hope he beats it and
Yep.
whatnot. But
yeah, for sure. Did anyone else miss the Manning cast this week? I did. I was like, man, I can't switch over to ESPN2 and listen to the 2 Mannings talk because I don't want to listen to these 2 clowns and Joe Buck and Troy Aikman call the game.
No, I did. Yeah, I was at work.
I think I wasn't able to switch over to it either because I was watching on a streaming site where I was watching the Monday Night Raw at the same time. So, and the streaming site only had the Aikman Buck cast. So I muted that and I listened to Raw.
Right, yeah, because ESPN2 had some skateboarding final thing going on. And
Oh,
I'm
so
like,
they
really?
didn't even have the Manning cast. Okay.
No, they didn't have the Manning cast. That's why I was saying I had to listen to the other two jokers.
I wasn't even aware because I was watching.
What
on my
is it with
laptop.
and I know we talk about weird sports and stuff. Skateboarding on ESPN, cornhole on ESPN. It's like, man, a lot of these games. I mean, outside of skateboarding, I can't skateboard, but like cornhole and pickleball and stuff. Man, I wish I was a little more athletic. I mean, might get out there, but
You don't have to. be
ESPN
athletic
is
to
grabbing
play.
everything.
You don't have to be athletic to play cornhole.
No, you
No
don't.
offense.
No.
No offense, but ask mess around.
Yeah.
That's my
No,
new
you don't.
game.
No, cornhole. You don't have to be. I mean,
And that's a game
there's
I'm actually good at. Like,
Yeah.
It is.
there's that.
And
There's that. Go ahead.
I'll just say, and I'll tell,
Oh.
and he'll be the first one to admit it. When we were playing at camping, he sucked the first 4 or 5 games. And
That's
then
the
he's
one thing you got to get the motion down.
He's
then
like,
you're
"What am I
lights
doing?
out.
What am I doing wrong?" I'm like, "Throw it like a softball pitch. Put more
Yep.
arc on it." And then after that, that was it, man. That's all he
Yep,
needed.
yeah.
Yep.
There's a one clip. I got to figure out what TikTok I saw it on, I think. But there's a guy that has no legs and no arms that's throwing cornhole. Or no hands. And it's just like watching him, it's just like, wow, and he's dead on.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to try to research that, find out who it is. And, but yeah, cornhole's no joke.
It's so fun. I can't wait for camping next year.
Yeah, cornhole's great. Yeah, you know what? We might do a segment one of these nights. Make it a wacky or weird sports night, and we might just come up with some different sports and go through the rules, show some clips maybe. Christy Wilson's here. She said, "I don't have ESPN. Buck and Aikman pissed me off." That's kind of surprising coming from a Cowboys fan, to be honest. And then
Right.
ESPN has come really lame because and Christy, the only reason I say that is because our other resident Cowboys fan, the guy with long hair, and we're not sure who pulls whose hair.
Got a big old forehead.
Yeah, he is a Cowboys fan and he loves Aikman, and I don't get it. I really don't understand how he likes Aikman, but
yeah, he
that's kind of like when I used.
I mean, technically, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he should not be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
When Madden and I can't think of his name now. Who's Madden's counterpart all the time?
Summerall.
When those two would do Packer games, that was on TV, and they were the head. I had to mute them because I could not stand to listen to Madden talk about how great Brett Favre was. Yes, we know he's great, but he just kept going, Brett Favre, the only quarterback that can make that throw, Brett Favre. So I had to mute him every time. But watching those two on a different game, Super Bowl or whatever, great commentary team. But yeah, when it came to
it's like
watching the Packer game,
Collinsworth and his love of Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
Good God, go blow the guy already, Jesus.
No doubt, right? Yeah.
I loved him as a quarterback, but hit him.
As a broadcaster, loved Madden and Summerall. Yeah.
I did too. I just couldn't stand to listen to him when they did Packer games.
Right. Did you?
Sorry if anybody's offended by that comment I just made, but this is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's dark 30.
It's true. It's true. It's damn true. That's for sure. Let's see what else is there. We're not gonna do J-Max Roulette tonight. There's only 3 of us. But we got plenty of other stuff. The NHL starts tomorrow. The NHL
regular season? Really?
Regular season starts tomorrow.
Yep.
For the NHL. So go Wings. Let's end the drought.
Are we all 3 in the same division still, or did they okay.
Yeah, of course we are. Of course.
I know they've been screwing with them every year since COVID, and it's just like, okay, where am I at this year?
I know, but you know what's funny is, Brandon, why would the 3 teams we root for not end up in the same division? Like, I don't even know that this just happens.
Outside of baseball, I mean, because you got to be a Braves fan. I mean, but I was just kind of curious. Yeah, but I was just kind of curious what the alignment was, because I know they're talking about realigning this and that every year in hockey, and it's just like I can't keep track of where my team's at.
Right.
So
excited to see how the Golden Knights do this season. Yeah, that's cool. The Golden Knights are going to be a good team, I think. Way too early prediction, I get that, but I will tell you that I have the Avalanche making a deep run again this year in the playoffs. And I don't really know in the Eastern Conference. It's a tough conference.
I have my Blackhawks finally doing what I said they should do last year, and that's trade Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane.
Did they trade Kane?
Not yet. They're trying to.
Okay. Yeah.
The Wild, if the goalie stays hot and Kipper Saw or whatever that kid's name is, plays like he was, the sky's the limit for the Wild, but I just can't say they're going anywhere.
And he's not here tonight, but I got to tell you, Crispy, the team that I picked to take the biggest step back this year is actually the Dallas Stars. I think that their guys are kind of past their prime. They don't really have an attacker now. They got a couple of shooters, but no one that can really overtake a game. So
Now I'm going to ask a stupid question. Who won it last year?
Last year, the Avalanche, right?
Colorado.
Was it Colorado?
Yeah,
Okay.
Avalanche.
I can't remember if it was Tampa or them. So
no, Colorado took it last year. I have them making another deep run. I think Tampa Bay will be in it every year, so I wouldn't count Tampa Bay out. But I think the Florida Panthers are going to be another good team this year again.
And that's one thing with
Hurricanes.
And that's one thing with hockey. I mean, yeah, you might have a couple studs every year, but a lot of playoff, the teams aren't always the same every year. You never know who's going to step up. So,
I had the Hurricanes last year, and I'm going to go with Hurricanes this year.
Hurricanes, yeah. That's a decent pick. I think they'll do all right this year. But it'll remain to be seen. We got a long season ahead of us, and we'll see how all that goes.
So that means basketball starting in a week or so then, huh?
Yeah, it's right behind, yeah.
Yeah, gross. I can't. I tried watching the playoffs last year, and I just can't. I can't get into basketball. I don't know what it is about the sport. Maybe it's because they run down the court and they jack up 40-foot shots.
Right.
Yeah, it's not old school anymore. It's this new.
That's the basketball we grew up watching.
No.
I mean, Brandon seems got the closest thing to it with the inside game with the center and down at there, Carl Towns on the inside there.
Yeah, but Towns likes to shoot that 3 too. I mean,
hope Milwaukee Bucks do good this upcoming season.
Milwaukee Bucks have been tough. I mean,
they have Giannis Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo, the freak geek.
I think they would have had a good chance to repeat last year if Middleton didn't get hurt.
I think so too.
And we always hope for LeBron to flop. I mean,
LaFlop, yeah. You know what's funny is I'm going to pick on my own team a little bit. San Antonio did absolutely nothing to better themselves this offseason. We're relying on Keldon Johnson to be our best player. Don't get me started on that.
Right, because they traded Murray to the Hawks, right?
Yeah, we traded Murray to the Hawks, which we got some draft picks that I think in the future it's going to work out for us. But yeah.
Well, I know there's a kid.
Who's coaching the team this year?
What?
Who's coaching the Spurs? Is it still
Popovich, yeah. But when I was
last year was his last dance.
I thought it was going to be 2. But I will tell you what I was going to pick on my own team for is Popovich in an interview. They're like, so who do you got to win the, make a deep run and win the finals this year? And he's like, well, if you're looking at that from this team, that's not going to happen. Like,
wow.
Like, he already knows.
Wow.
We might be in the play-in like we were this last year and make that push to that. But he knows that it's not a good team and it's rebuilding. And that's honestly I'm surprised why he came back because he knows it's a rebuilding team. But I hope McDermott gets hot. So if McDermott gets hot, he can actually take over a game. McDermott can shoot well. But, yeah, we're relying on Keldon Johnson to be our top player. I don't even know how many games I'm going to watch this year. I usually get the package and watch as many as I can just because it's the Spurs. But, man, I don't know if I can watch Johnson being the premier player on our team.
I'm excited
for the Wolves. I mean, they made the big move this offseason. So there's high hopes here that we're knocking on the title door within 2-3 years. So we'll see what happens.
Now, did A-Rod buy the team? Did he end up buying the team?
Him and his partner. There's conflicting reports that his partner has to come up with more money to cover A-Rod's share because of some financial money. But I think this year is the last year for Taylor to have the team, and then next year I think it's their full control. But I think they gained more control this year with trades and signings and stuff, and then I think next year is the full control.
Now, do you think that A-Rod does the right thing and brings in Kevin Garnett as GM?
He should. I mean, that 2023, if the home opener is, or within the first month, if Kevin Garnett's jersey's not retired by then, once A-Rod and his group take over, then you're doing something wrong. But yeah, Garnett should be in the fold.
Agreed. What do you, real quick, mess around? What are you looking forward to from your Bulls this year?
You know, the East is really stacked. There's a lot of tough teams there. It'd be we didn't make it out of the first last year, and I don't unless Zach LaVine finally gets back to his old ways and starts playing like he did before we got DeRozan, and you get them both going at the same time. We're not getting out of the first round.
Ball's hurt too, right? You're not expecting Ball back.
Ball is on the shelf right now. He just had he has that surgery yet. They're trying to avoid it, but he's rehabbing. And they're hoping
January, I think, right?
Yeah, he's got the knee. I believe it's a knee, and they're hoping that he can come back at some point this season. So, but they got Dragic, or however you say his name. I can never get his name right. He's a pretty good point guard, so he'll fill in till he gets back. And then we picked up Drummond, who's an excellent rebounder, defender. We really missed that last year. We didn't. We got dominated on the glass, and we didn't have a rim protector. And he's not the greatest. He's older, but he's still reliable in getting 10 to 12 boards per game.
That's all you need, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this just came up. I'll read this to you real quick before we get final thoughts and go around. The Mets had 39,000 fans in attendance for a Sunday night elimination game versus the Padres after the team won 101 games this year. Okay?
Wow.
Okay.
The Braves have already sold 41,500 tickets for game 1 of the NLDS on a Monday, on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. to play against an 87 win team. It's pretty clear which franchise is on top right now.
Still keep sticking it to them.
Oh man, you have to. When you had to hear it all year because you weren't going to catch us, and who's left? Who's left?
Yep, exactly. That's there's certain fan bases and fan people that honestly, I like my local teams, but there's a certain fan that just makes me want them to lose. I mean, just because I want to shut them up, and it's just
Isn't that bad though? Like you got somebody that torments you that bad that you want your own team to lose.
Yeah, that's
well, exactly. Bad. It sucks. I mean, just watching the play on the field, it's like, yeah, the Vikings should have lost the last 2 weeks, but they pulled them out. As a Viking fan, great. I'm glad my team won, but as a sports fan, you're not a championship team if you're pulling out these close wins against a second string quarterback or a missed field goal or stuff like that.
Or an Ohio State quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, in his defense, he looked really good last week against a good Vikings defense. In the second half, he only missed 2 passes.
Yeah.
And that Vikings defense is really good too. I'm not, they got a great pass rush.
Yep.
Hopefully that elevates Fields' play and he gain confidence and he can springboard off that and finally take off. But Ohio State jinx is still there.
Yeah. Last thing before we get final thoughts. We remember last week we talked about how Tom Brady looks like Father Time's catching up. I heard so much slack from that this week. They're like, he threw for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm like, yeah, against the Falcons.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He might as well have been out there doing a walkthrough and a scrimmage. So I don't want to hear anything about, well, he had a good week. Yeah, let's see what he does against a real team. He hasn't played good against real teams.
Because he got gifted a roughing the passer call against him.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Because that was a 3rd down play. They would have stopped them and made them punt the ball. They would have got the ball back.
And Brady's 6. Like, I'm not in charge of throwing flags when they.
He said, "I don't throw flags." That was just his answer. We know you don't throw flags, but Whatever. Did
Yep.
you see the meme with him and Patrick Mahomes? It's Sunday
I
night.
didn't.
Yeah, real quick. He said Patrick walks up to him and says, "I'm jealous of you." And he's like, "Why? For the 7 Super Bowls?" He's like, "No, for the divorce." Hello.
All right.
Yeah,
J-Max Age is calling him. What's
he's
that?
much better. Patrick's wife's always in the news making waves about what she's wearing, what she's doing, like total distraction. His wife is no better.
Yep.
No, it's true. It's true. All right. Final thoughts, mess around.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting, Chrissy. Always love doing the show. I'm wiped out after 3 shows tonight, so I'm ready for bed.
Big B.
Yeah, thanks for watching and keep tuning to Coast to Coast. Like I said, me and Tim Hendricks are got a show penciled in for. We're going to premiere November 1st. Just kind of a list kind of show. We're going to list off different things, rank them, and and hopefully you guys will watch.
And with that announcement, I want to tell you, I haven't penciled it in yet. I don't have a debut for you, but I am starting an NHL show that'll be on the network real soon. I think we're going to do something like, we haven't come up with a name yet. I got a few things in the works, but yeah, we'll do an NHL show as the NHL starts. So watch for that.
I will not be part of that show, by the way.
But for Mess Around Big B, I'm J-Mac. We hope you have a great night. Thanks for watching, listening. Lifelong dreams being lived in front of your very eyes. We'll see you all on the other side.
Bye, Felicia.